So for today's discussion topic, Rob, and it's quite an interesting one, it's about payouts. Now, what's prompted our payout discussion is there has been a recent Riverfest final, a great event, something that I really enjoy fishing. Rob, I believe you fished in our qualifier in the past as well. And last year, the event paid out £15,000 to the winner, or 14 or £15,000 to the winner, and then a great payout structure going down to about 15th place and paying out a lot of money per sections. Now this year, due to slightly different entries and maybe attendance not being quite the same, the payout has been reduced. Now instead of reducing the payout all the way through, Rob, they've cut it down and it's 10 grand to the winner. So it's gone from 14, 15 grand to the winner to 10 grand, which is still an awful amount of money, and then 7, 4, 3, etc. So it's £7,000 for second is a lot of money. Flip that on its head, 2 weeks before, Match This is paying out £50,000 to the winner and £5,000 to second. So the debate topic is, has Riverfest done the right thing? Should it have left it at 15 grand and found that 5 grand throughout the payout? Should it be 25 grand to the winner of Riverfest?
Yeah, I don't think it's necessarily the right or the wrong thing, it's just what people prefer personally. Is stacking the payout to benefit literally the winner?
Yeah.
Is that the way to go, or is it better to spread the money around a little bit and try and maybe pay a few more people out with a decent amount of money?
Absolutely, at any level as well.
It goes right. I was just going to say,
any level.
It goes right down,
yes.
Because your local opens and your club matches, there's always this debate, and even on a 12 pegger, how many should we pay? Should we pay 5? Or does it winner take all? And I think like anglers fishing them events, they need to. I think they'll all have a different preference. Some guys will want it winner take all. Now I've got my take on it is, for your big events, I think you need a mix.
Yeah.
I think you need a mix. It definitely helps the prestige of the event to attach this big prize to it.
That's what I want to start on, right? Is Match This a more prestigious event? Has it become a prestigious event?
Perception-wise,
because it has £50,000 attached to it.
Well, hang on. When it was first launched, it was touted as £100,000.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, 9 years ago, it was touted as the £100,000 match. It added loads of prestige to it. Now, I'm not saying that the Match This guys haven't done a fantastic job in promoting it, because they have. They've done a fantastic job.
They have done a great job.
You've had some high-profile anglers win the event as well, which has helped push the event.
And you.
And me as well. And when I won it, it was like £70,000.
A lot of money.
The second place got 5,000. So there was that definite winner, second, everyone else. It was basically winner take all.
So I'm asking you this: if it had been 20,000 for second and 50,000 for first, would that have changed?
Does that take the shine off it? Does
that take the shine off your title? For me, not at all.
No, I don't think it
does
at all.
Not at all, because £50,000 is a scary amount of money. And some people would consider, Phil Briscoe, who started Match This, he's created a golden reel. And obviously the first year of golden reel, they're trying to pay out £30,000-40,000 based on the entries. And immediately it's got this title, oh yes, I've won the golden reel. And I'm like, hang on a minute, where's the history? Is it prestigious just because it's £30,000? What is something that makes it prestigious?
Because I would argue that Fishermania, for quite a while, they stuck at that £25,000-30,000 mark. They were the last ones to move on.
They were
trying to keep up with Maven Match This. They were, in theory, offering less, half the amount.
They were.
But the prestige was still there, wasn't it? Because it was Fishermania, it had a history, and the history was there.
Fishermania would always be the top of those big money individual commercial events. That will always remain, because it's got a combination of prestige and money. Now, obviously, as you know, I run Feeder Masters competition along with Mick Viles and the great team that we've got there. And when we do when we looked at competition, for us as a match angler, we wanted a competition that paid more depth. So we've got, this year in Feeder Masters, we've got a £15,000 top prize, Rob.
Okay.
It's a lot of money.
Yeah, it's
right?
brilliant, yeah.
And we're paying £4,000 to second place. So in contrast to Riverfest,
Big gap.
it is a big gap. In contrast to Riverfest, we've got 10,000 and 7,000. We've got this staggered gap. Now for us, we wanted a clear definition between winner, title winner, and second place, because there should be, shouldn't there?
There should be.
Shouldn't there be a difference
I'm going
between
to tell you
winner and
something,
second?
maybe going off on a tangent, Lee. As someone who fishes Feeder Masters, because that's my thing, I don't think there's been a year where I've been in the final that I've known the prize money list.
Right.
I've not even looked. Didn't even
Fantastic,
look. And
yeah.
I remember, not last year, year before, I was 4th, I think, and I was 4th in the final.
Yeah.
It's like a matter of ounces
You'll
between
have
me and
won
the opponent.
£2,000 for that.
Yeah, £2,000.
Yeah.
Fantastic. I didn't know. I thought it was going to be something like a grand,
Yeah,
800 quid.
Yeah.
I literally had no clue.
Yeah.
I was standing waiting to be called up, and I literally didn't know how much it was going to be until you gave
Brilliant.
me the
I love that.
the
Yeah, I love it. I
the
love
check. And I was like, because for me it was the prestige of the event.
Yeah.
It's built up a history now, and it's built up that prestige.
And has it helped build that up though? Because now, when we first created Feeder Masters, we pay the top 6, pay the top 10, we pay the top 15, and then for the last 3 years we've paid the top 20. We pride ourselves on 10th place in that competition takes £1,000 home. So if you can take home £1,000, which is a lot of money for coming 10th, and everybody knows you can't always win a match, can you?
you can't, mate.
You can't always win a match. If I come in the top 10 of Feeder Masters this year, I'll be delighted, and I know I'm going to take home more money than it's
You know what I'm going to say?
Obviously,
we're talking about big money matches just for now. We'll get on to smaller matches in a minute. But £15,000 is a lot of money. It's a hell of a lot of money. It's not a life-changing amount of money.
Agreed.
So when we've done this before, when we've been away on big events, and we'll always share, because we feel that even if one of us was to win the event, even if first prize was, I don't know, £10,000.
Yeah, £5,000.
It's better to go home with £5,000 each and have that chance.
Yeah, that is. Yeah.
Than one of you going with 10,000, they've won nothing, because that £10,000, okay, it's great. You could get a new car, pay for a bit of your mortgage, whatever you want to do. But it's not that life-changing amount of money, is it?
No, it
Which
isn't.
is why I think when we get to maybe a match this levels, then it becomes, wow, that could potentially be a life-changing amount of money for a lot of people.
It is.
So I think there's those sort of levels. £15,000 is great. It's great. But I think 10th place, and if you were to ask all the competitors, 10th place would rather
that
have
£1,000.
that £1,000.
The
the chance of that
is almost £40,000 paid out across the event, and you could easily pay £35,000 to the winner, £2,000 for second, and a few sections.
Yeah.
Would that change? I've been lucky enough to win it. Would that change my feeling towards the title? Not one single bit. Not for me. I believe that the event has developed its own prestige, as Riverfest has. So part of me thinks to myself, that must be a tricky scenario going back from 15 to 10. But at the same time, if I was fishing Riverfest final this weekend, I'd be thinking, wow, I'm going in, even if I can't win the event, if I can come 3rd or 4th, because I haven't been on that winning peg,
you've got a chance of some decent money.
I've got some decent money. So,
and also,
I think it's very interesting.
If I was fishing Riverfest, I wouldn't even be looking at prize money.
Yeah, you just
because
want the title.
I want Riverfest title.
Yeah, that's right.
I always say to my son, he's big on the, how much money, and he sort of talks about it with the things that he does. How much money does a footballer get? How much money does a race car driver get? And I have to explain to him that, forget the money, forget it. If you get the titles, the money comes as a byproduct, whatever. So just concentrate on the titles.
Did you tell him that fishing's the same as football?
I told him, obviously, you know, that
similar
yeah,
wages.
I'm the David Beckham of fishing.
Yeah,
and you're
over the hill.
Yeah, finish, but still amazingly attractive in women's eyes. I'm trying to think of a footballer that maybe sums you up a little bit.
Let's not go there.
No.
So I think what I want to touch on now then is, if you've got talk to me about, let's say, a club match or a smaller open match. I'm going to say, what's the idea for the payout? Because I remember fishing my club matches, loved my club matches, and if I got in the frame, I was happy. But I tell you what, it was all about the winner. If you were the winner,
which I think is right in the smaller matches. I had a bit of a thing because I was plundering a lot of matches in my early 20s, a lot of local matches. And
when you were in your David Beckham prime?
In my David Beckham prime.
Yeah, of course, yeah.
And
you get some mileage out of that, but anyway.
And it was good, and they felt that it was. I was only saying that the frame should be probably a little bit top heavy.
Yeah.
They were sort of saying the frame should be top heavy, and you're only saying that because
you're framing.
You're doing well.
Yeah.
And they wanted to pay in a 15 peg, 20 peg match. They want to pay 8 people, 3 sections, a top 4, and all this sort of thing.
Yeah.
And my argument would be, actually, you've got to look at it a little bit logically, because the top guys, if you've got a couple of good guys on your match that turn up and they frame regular, they're not going to win regular. They're going to frame regular. And what will generally happen is everyone will have their go at winning the match. They might sit on a pod of fish in the winter, even if they're not particularly a great angler in your little circuit. They'll sit on a pod of fish in the winter. I used to see it all the time, and you go, oh yeah, that was his day. And I love people who get their day. I want everyone to have their day. And especially in the colder months, the top angler wouldn't win every time, but he was good enough to be consistent enough to maybe win that section. And it was great. He was being rewarded for that spread out payout.
Yeah.
So it was actually, the spread out payout was benefiting the top anglers, and it was actually making it more attractive for them to come, because they would quite often cover their costs. But when that one, with the spread out angler, when that guy who gets his one flyer a year manages to draw it and manages to win the match, and he goes, this is it, I've done it, I've won the match, I'm so happy, and the payout is spread out, and he goes 30 quid? Wow, I thought,
yeah.
It's a little bit.
It's so tough, because I thought, imagine this, Rob, if you had £100 and you paid the top 4, you'd be 40%, 30%, 20%, 10%. Let's just say the top 4.
Okay, yeah.
Your winner gets 40 quid, 4th place gets the tenner.
Yeah.
Right? And you think, okay, that's far enough, but imagine scaling that up so there was £1,000 in the pot, £400 for winning, and 4th place is £100.
Yeah.
Suddenly that feels a bigger difference than, so in Feeder Masters qualifiers, I tried to pay like 25-20, that sort of thing, 25 or 30, 25.
But I think you've got different amounts of money to play with. I think you've got different amounts of money to play with. So let's say a normal club or open match, your pegging is 8 quid, tenner on a lot of venues now,
and everyone chucks a tenner in.
And everyone chucks a tenner in. So you've got
200 quid.
200 quid. Yeah, 20 blokes, 200 quid. 200 quid to play with it as far as pools.
Yeah.
With 20 guys, I think you're looking at a couple of sections.
Yeah.
Almost get your money back.
Yeah, 2 10-peg sections with your, what a tenner then?
20 quid.
20 quid.
So pegging fee in that, so 20 quid.
Yeah.
And then I think you've
got
to look
160 quid left. How many are you paying then?
I'd be paying 3.
Pay 3, I agree.
Paying 3.
Yeah. So hang on. 5 people out of 20 are getting paid out. 25% of the field. That's great.
I think that's fantastic.
That's great.
But that would be literally my limit. I fished a little match the other day. I went fishing with Smokey Joe Carras, and he said, come down the banks, it's brilliant, the fishing's fantastic. Come and have a little midweek skive, he calls it. So fished a match there, not fished a match there for years, and there was, I think, 14 blokes, something like that, 15 blokes fishing. And we've weighed in, and it was ever so tight. I think Joe was second with £65. I was 4th with £58. And I was like, oh, that was a nice day. And I'm sort of walking out the car park. They went, you've won some money with that? I was like, no, surely. You're not paying 4 in a 15 pegger. They paid 5 in the 15 pegger.
Did they? 33% of the field, wow.
But it went down to like, 5th place got like £13. Which, do you know what?
Yeah.
I felt that's great for this little gang of guys.
That's how
it's great.
So it has to be personalised, doesn't it?
I think it has to be personalised. If you've got a little group of guys and basically you're all of a very, very similar level,
Yeah.
So everyone is just sharing this money around themselves basically on these matches, and occasionally you'll pay for yourself, and occasionally you have 2 weeks where your little method tears it apart. I think it's great. But if you're in opens where you're going to get Lee Kerry turn up for 2 weeks and he's going to be consistent and he's going to win his section or he's going to frame, you need to give the chance to
I understand. I think I would always like to see the winner get that touch more, like, because I feel like there is a prestige in winning. I like to go, you know, if it was, you know, that little bit more for the winner. If I've got an extra £5, it should be the winner who gets it.
Yeah, of course, yeah.
Because I always feel like, well,
so what would
well
the
done,
gap
you've
be
won.
then? What would the gap be if in your normal club match? And obviously, guys, let us know what you think as well.
Comment below.
Comment below.
What do you think?
Well, what would you say then? So you're paying top 3.
Yeah.
You've got £100 to play with. 100 quid in the kitty, and you're paying top 3 out of that 100
yeah,
quid.
for me, that should be like something like £50, £30, £20.
Yeah, I'm going to say that too.
So the winner is like almost the same as second and third combined, because I've got. You asked me if that's 1,000. Should it be 500, 300, 200? Yeah, it probably should, Rob.
Right.
Because the winner, and I've won a match like that where there was £1,000. Hulk and Hunt put on a fantastic anniversary match, and that's what it was. It was 500, 300, 200. And I won it, and I was so proud to win it with my trophy. And it was almost like, you know, it could have been 400, 300, 200, but no, let's give a little bit more because it's the winner. And there's something nice about that. Potentially you could have paid 4, but...
So are we saying when it comes to...
A tiny bit more for the winner.
The more prestigious the match then, the less the money matters. Is that what we're saying?
I believe the less the money matters, but your club will have it. Your club will have a Christmas special where it's double the pools and double the payout, right? And that match is the best match of the year. That's the match that you'll look forward to because it is that bigger money. So I think that match fishing needs the big money titles. I think the balance between big money and spread out, obviously my opinion is quite clear because we do it for Feeder Masters.
Yeah, you like to reward the winner.
It's the winner rewarded, but there's more than double, or well, there's more than the winner's check paid out across the next 20 people. So it's split, but the winner is rewarded. And for me,
hang on a minute,
that's where I go.
Just go on that, because that's the final.
Yeah, it's the final.
What about your qualifiers that are 60 pegs?
Well, the qualifiers, like I've just told you there, so effectively I will do, let's say, a classic qualifier payout would be £200 to the winner, 170 for second, 140 for third, 110 for fourth.
So you're paying 4 people in a 60 pegger.
We pay 4 people and we've paid
then 6 sections.
6 sections,
of
yeah.
10.
Yeah.
So
and section winners get 50 quid.
So 10 out of the 60 are getting paid.
Yeah, and obviously it depends on the pegging fee to how much we pay, but that's the ratio roughly from £100 for fourth to 200 for first, or just over £100, and then fill the gaps in between. What we don't do is go 250 to the winner, 100 quid, 80 quid, 60 quid, because we believe that, or I believe, especially when we're running the match, the qualifier has its own prestigious right in that the 3 people qualify.
Yeah, sure.
Because your qualifier often is just a section winner. So if he's just a section winner and he only wins 50 quid, trust me, he's happier than the guy in second who hasn't qualified, who wins 150. So I just tend to spread that money about.
So if there was 30 anglers on a match, so we've just said 20 anglers on a match, which is a standard, match on a local commercial. 20 anglers on a match, me and you are both paying a top 3 and 2 sections.
Yeah, sure.
If there's 30 anglers on the match, what are we doing?
I'd probably say I'd probably pay top 3 and 3 sections.
That's what I'd do as well.
Yeah.
I wouldn't start going, we're paying 5.
The top 4 is over 40 people for me. But listen, Bex, great insight. I hope you've enjoyed it because there's going to be more discussions on our page. That's what we like to get people involved. Comment below. We'll see you next time.